Alright guys, Wes here, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some news regarding Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as according to a new leak, the Zelda Switch OLED that was previously leaked is actually real, and that is evident because of the logos that are on the collector's edition of the game, as well as this Nintendo Switch OLED. So as you know, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is shaping up to be one of the biggest launches in Nintendo's history, and tons of inside and official sources have been pouring information about the game onto the internet, and the hype train is chugging along louder than ever. But one thing that we don't have a very solid date on just yet is when you could lock in on a custom Nintendo Switch themed on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The Switch OLED that was leaked a couple of months ago was then accidentally confirmed by Nintendo, or it might have been on purpose, with the announcement of the collector's edition in the game, as well as future marketing material that we got online. But we still don't know when you're going to be able to lock in on one. With how quickly hardware sells out these days, a lot of people are eager to get their hands on a Zelda Switch as quickly as possible, since it remains unclear just how many will be made and how many restocks Nintendo is going to do for them. Nintendo may not have said anything officially just yet, but luckily for you, we just got some intel that suggests that the pre-order date isn't too far away, and it will give you plenty of time before the game launches to get one, assuming Nintendo makes a lot of them, that is. Now, this information comes from a post on the Gaming Leak subreddit from an anonymous source who shared some pretty compelling images. The poster seems to be an employee of some kind of retail store that would stock the upcoming Switch OLED, and they posted a picture of what seems to be an official database of products, as well as their release dates. On the alleged schedule of this store, it claims that the new Switch is going up for pre-orders on March 10th. While it's not explicitly stated on the schedule that this new Switch model is based on Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't know what else it could be, unless Nintendo is planning on doing some kind of surprise announcement in the next few weeks. Now, our price tag is still unknown, and that's likely going to be subject to change until Nintendo says something officially about it, but as of right now, the belief is that the pre-orders for the new Zelda Switch OLED will go live on March 10th, which happens to be Mario Day as well, so just make sure you have some money set aside for it when it goes on sale. But I have a gut feeling that these things are going to sell out very quickly, and knowing Nintendo, I'm not too sure if they'll release another batch after the first one sells out. Tears of the Kingdom is ramping up to be one of the greatest games this year. I also wanted to touch on some recent controversy that happened regarding how the new trailer was and whether or not $70 for the Zelda game is worth it. So as you all know, we just got a recent Nintendo Direct that showed off the new trailer for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and it gave us a lot of tidbits as well as kind of lore information regarding the future of the game. Now, a lot of people on Twitter were saying that the trailer wasn't really that good, and the game looks like just a big DLC. Now, what I will say about that is that Nintendo constantly misdirects their fans, just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe does their trailers, and I guarantee that whenever this game comes out, it is going to be massive. Just like Zelda Breath of the Wild, if you look at the trailer for that game, and then you look at the final product, we didn't have any clue about a lot of the features until we experienced them all ourselves, which is exactly what they're doing with this trailer. We get to see some of the Zonai technology with Link's hand, as well as the puzzles in the sky. It also confirmed weapon crafting as well as vehicle crafting, kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. And then you have to consider the amount of information that was delivered with the lore of the game. We got to hear Ganondorf for the first time. It sounds like it's played by Matthew Mercer from Critical Role. Obviously, you guys know Matthew Mercer. He's insane, and it definitely sounds like he is playing Ganondorf, but I'm not really sure. The amount of information that we already know about Tears of the Kingdom is actually insane. Nintendo previously announced that if they gave away the actual name of the game, then it would be a pretty big spoiler, which it sounds like that's actually going to be the case, because if we look at the logo, you have two Zonai dragons kind of eating themselves, which almost confirms that this game is a prequel. We get to see Goddess Hylia. There's something going down with Ganondorf. Maybe that's going to be Demise that shows up in the game, and those two dragons eating themselves kind of confirms that we're in a loop, meaning Tears of the Kingdom could actually be a prequel to Skyward Sword, and obviously a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which would effectively loop the timeline back to its origins. Obviously, we know Skyward Sword is the earliest in the timeline, and it's looking like Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a prequel to that, which is actually mind-blowing. So one, I don't think the game is going to be just a big expansion. I think it very well could be a game that redefines gaming in general. Nintendo has constantly redefined genres with every new Zelda game, and they did the same with Breath of the Wild. Like, they pretty much redefined what it is to be an open world game. So rest assured, this game is going to be massive. It's been in development for 6 years on an engine that they already been using that is a direct direct sequel to the previous game. Now, another topic that came up is actually whether or not the game is worth a $70 price tag. And what I will say about that, yeah, it's unfortunate that Nintendo is making their game 70 bucks again, but if you look at the value add, this is going to be a big game. And the reason Nintendo is charging $70 for the game is for a simple fact that people are willing to spend the money. The market kind of dictates the price whenever it comes to games, and if people are going to buy the game at 70 bucks, then they're going to sell it there. Nintendo can make the game 150 bucks, and if they see that people are buying it, they're going to keep on making their games at that price point. But if they make it to $70 and they don't get as many sales as they would at 60 bucks, then I guarantee they will lower the price. At the end of the day, $70 for a game is just the unfortunate reality of the world. Nintendo only made this game $70 because they could get away with it, as is what the other players are doing. If you look at PlayStation, Xbox, EA, Ubisoft, they're all releasing brand new games in 2023 for the $70 price tag. So if you don't want to spend $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, you can exercise your right as a consumer to not spend that money. You could buy it on another game that's $60 or even $40, and if enough people followed suit not spending $70 on games, then Nintendo would lower the price. But they're not, and people are going to go out in droves to purchase Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at launch for the $70 price tag. I think the game is going to be well worth it, and heck, I think they could probably even raise the price to $140, and even then it would be well worth the price because of the experience that we will likely be getting. But I guess we'll have to wait and see whenever Tears of the Kingdom releases on May 12th. It's a big year, and I cannot wait to play this game because Nintendo never lets me down. They're the one true last developer in gaming that will not make a flop. It's in their culture. The developers at Nintendo love making games, and they have a high standard in quality and what they release to their consumers. I am super excited about Tears of the Kingdom, and I cannot wait to see if they have a Switch OLED because I'll likely be buying that as well as the collector's edition of the game. We are looking at possibly what is going to be game of the year for 2023, and you guys should get ready. This game is going to be massive. You don't have a game like Zelda that's taken 6 years to make and not have it be a gigantic video game like the others in the series. And if you take a look at the development time for Tears of the Kingdom versus, let's say, Breath of the Wild, then it's going to paint a very interesting picture for you. So if you didn't know, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was in development right after Skyward Sword released in 2011. So that means the game was in development from 2011 through the Wii U era and released in 2017, which is a 6-year time gap. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was in development right after Breath of the Wild released in 2017, and here we are in 2023, and it's set to release in May. The 6-year anniversary for Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild is going to be on March 3rd of 2023. So it will be over 6 years of development for this game, and there's just no shot that it's not going to live up to expectations. Maybe it won't have the same impact, but I know for a fact it's going to be packed full of content, and I cannot wait to play. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Are you hyped for that Switch OLED? And what do you think about the $70 price tag, as well as the claims that it's just going to be a big expansion? Thanks for watching. This has been Wes from Video Game Leaks, and we will talk to you guys in the next video.